Hey, hey. Sorry, I'm busy on the phone at the moment. Don't ask. We'll explain it when later on when the program starts. Sigh. Yes. Mm, yes. And I think I have a song for it. In fact, it's probably the only song that comes to everyone's mind when you talk about mirrors. So no big surprise there. But I tell you, that's a damn hard song, okay? Because nobody sings like that. So I'm gonna sing it like Mm, I cannot do that. I cannot. I will sing a different version, a much more chill version. Yeah, John's version. As I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top, and one man's soul. They follow each other on the wind, 'cause they got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
Woo!
I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change.
Is anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.
Hey, good Friday evening, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Live with your host, the Prince of Paranormal, the Sultan of Supernatural, Eugene Tay, and the immortal Jonathan Lim, who seems to be busy on his phone the whole time.
Yeah, talking to my aircon delivery man. No, so this setup is kind of strange because apparently Hantu does not want us to stream this episode. So for the first time ever, I can hear Eugene and Eugene can't hear me, and that's kind of never happened before.
Or the other way around,
So
actually.
oh yeah, so we couldn't find a solution yet, right? Except for PayLah. So but the clever way is just to use another device. So I'm
Mm.
so, so if you hear weird echoes along the way, it's not ghost, okay? It's my speaker being too close to my microphone, okay?
You see, that's the thing, right? John and I, we never give up. We will never disappoint you for your Friday Night Live. For our Friday Night Live, it's as much yours as it is ours as well. We cannot miss this day. And so we get very creative
Sigh.
in the way we solve our technical issue. So for the next 1 hour, 45 minutes, John will be on the phone with me.
It's crazy. This is the weirdest live stream ever.
Madness.
Okay lah. But as long as it works for you guys, if there's no lag and no echo and no delay, then okay lah. We will persevere. Okay, we'll persevere. Thank you for the donation just now. Someone gave Michael Jackson a small donation.
Demon
which
Slayer,
is-
demonic Slayer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for your donation, your little fox. Thank you. And also thank you to Raven, who says, flush away the spirits. Okay.
Ah,
Can everyone donate more and the spirit might leave? Yeah. Okay.
that's right. And in order to do so, there is a $sign right below the chat function. That's where you can click on it and you can be as generous as you want. Every cent goes a really long way. And John and I, we love doing what we do and we love having you here as well. You can just share, cheer us on, leave a comment. And also if you feel like, you want to have us read your comments because everything's going up so fast, but that $sign there, click on it, put in your comments and we'll pop it up. We will see you.
Especially if you have a burning question or you have the solution to something and you want to make sure that we don't miss it. Yeah. Pop something in and it'll pop up in highlight so we can't miss it.
That's right. And also, this show will not be possible without our wonderful Patreons.
Ooh.
We got new names today. We have Elaine Chia, Tengku El Session, Mko Grim, ZB Matt, Queen Lai, Lin Tek Chuan, Elwin Sensei, VL, Casey Chan, Alexa O, Janice Ang, Jacqueline N, Yong Kwan Yu, Han J, Jerwin, Dato Easy, Starring Jack. We also have Joel Go, Deborah Cornfield, Chia King To, Linda Hayden, LEX, Jess Neo. I think LEX is moving out of Changi this month or last month.
Oh
next
no.
month. Yeah, Jerry Fish, BB Teo sent me a message this morning. Thank you for keeping in touch. Tay Hak Wee, Thu Sense, Elvin Lim, Kenny Polaris, Jayanti, TTB, Juju Bay, ZP, Devindes, Gary Fu, Isaac Lam, Martin, Don at A, a new name, Yao Xiu. Budak Yao Xiu ni, and J, just J.
J.
We have
Welcome.
Shi Chieto, Grace Chai, Candy Chia, Ron K, Jack Ong, Nicholas Pua, Burke, Serin Tan, Rachel Y, Kelvin C. Lechmi, Julian Teo, David, and Kiblan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And also a thank you to CC Cole for your number 1 fan donation. Thank you. It's so bouncy. Oh, I must tell you some interesting news.
What?
So I was on my way home earlier today, right around 6 o'clock, right? And suddenly there was this woman sitting. I was on the bus, I was standing, and there was this woman who was sitting, and she was wearing a mask, right? And she kept staring, and I was like twisting her head, like I look different from different angles like that. So she was like, and then I was like, okay, I can only see her eyes. So I'm like, is she a relative? Is she someone I need to know? Then I'm like quietly trying to guess who, right? Then finally she stood up and came over and she said, "Are you from SC?" And she introduced herself, and she is Anna Chia, who is in the chat today. Hello, Anna.
Chia.
And we were chatting away. She's been with us since the COVID days. She's been with us. She's been with Friday Night since the Tim O days, but she also watched GM. So she's been all over the place.
It's the OG.
Yeah, but she doesn't usually join on the live. She usually listens on Saturday. So I told her, please come on live tonight so you can say hi. So yay, thank you,
Hi,
Anna.
Anna. I also want
Sorry
to
for
say,
making you miss your stop.
I also want to say hello to, I think probably our youngest fan. I met her and her family at Changi when I was there for supper. And her name, let me get this right. I don't know. I don't. Is it Yashir or Yashi? She's a young girl. I think she's probably about 8 or 9. She was with her family at Changi Village, and then she came up to me and shook my hand. And her mom says she listens to Friday Night Live as bedtime story. So Yashi,
That's good.
thank you so much for watching us.
Yay! Start young. Okay, very good.
And a couple of other people I met along the way. There's I think a Grab delivery guy at McDonald's in Siglap as well who came up to say hello, and many others. So thank you so much. Please don't be afraid. John and I we love to meet you guys. Yeah, say hello.
Say hello. Yes. Oh, we took a selfie together. I'll share it with you, Eugene. Later can post.
Okay. Yeah.
Yay!
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Zone Nova is our very first person today to come into the chat.
Number 1. Yay! Well done.
Next, actually, somebody is the first for next week's Friday Night Live. Because now I put Friday Night Live in advance, right? I saw Witchy Yumeko.
Then you might as well say, "Oh, I'm the last one to leave this Friday, so I'm the first one next week." I mean, okay, fine, whatever. Whatever rocks your boat. Okay. Oh, Serene Tan, thank you for the donation.
Thank you, Serene.
Is that like a fruit or something that's blowing kisses? I cannot. All these emojis, I cannot read them.
It looks like
I don't
someone's
know what they are.
head butting a green apple or something.
Okay, but thank you very much, Serene.
Hey, Serene's done 10 super, okay? 10, huh?
Huh?
Her 10.
Is it
Yes.
10? Oh, I see. It says 10. Well done.
Oh. Okay, John, I got to tell you, today's story is really frightening for me. Really.
Why?
Mirrors scare the hell out of me.
Why do mirrors scare the hell out of you?
Because when I was young, I read this book from Singapore Ghost Story, where he talks about the person who looks away, but then the mirror doesn't move. The reflection just stays
Right.
on. Yeah, freaks me out.
Okay, I thought it was about just accepting and that's how you look. Get over it.
Good one.
Okay, you need to go for therapy. Okay.
And I want to give...
See,
what? What's that?
wait, I must thank you for your empathy. See, Chu Yong Hock is going, John has to hold the phone for a whole 1.5 hours. Yeah lah. See?
It's not
just
my
for you
fault.
guys, okay?
It's for you all, lah. You all. To your hawk is for you all.
Yeah, sorry, Eugene, you're saying.
Yesterday, I got a message from one of our patrons, our sentient patron. Chilaka, no? Send me out of the blue. This is the picture she sent me.
Oh.
Can you see it on the screen?
I
almost...
Your favorite drink.
She said that this was what she was sitting down with a friend. They bought this drink, and this was how it came.
Wow.
First thing she said, I need to take photo and send to Eugene.
I think you need to tap out the drink and send the drink to Eugene.
Go away.
Oh no, but you have to put it at the bottom. So after he finishes the drink, then it pops up.
Okay, so speaking of drinks, right? I know we are going a bit off tangent today. The reason I can do so is because all future confession will be now at 9:30 and not 11:45. Okay,
Wow.
So we can go. We don't have to rush to end. And people have been saying, "Oh, Eugene, we don't. By the time you show your feature, we're very sleepy. So features at 9:30 now on. Guys, take note. Okay.
Okay.
So true story, John. True story. Huh? This is the most horrifying story on Supernatural Confessions, bar none.
Okay.
This took place at Simpang Bedok, the mamak shop. The shop is no longer around, so you don't have to bother thinking which one it is. Okay, it's no longer around.
Okay.
So I was finishing with some filming, and with the whole crew we went down, and I ordered Milo dinosaur. Okay? Milo dinosaur. Huh? So Milo dinosaur. There's a lot of those. It's a Milo drink with extra Milo powder on top. Correct?
Yeah.
So I stir to make it very gao, right? Then I drink lah. How come stuck? Huh? So I thought maybe because it's like the Milo clumps, right? So I how come the Milo crunchy one? It's a leg, bro. A leg. And like
And you swallowed the rest.
I pulled out the straw and impaled on that straw
Oh.
is a cockroach of this size.
It died. It died for you. It died for you.
I cannot. I cannot. I cannot.
I have to send you photos of me eating jungle cockroaches in Thailand. Okay, you will vomit. You will vomit. And the jungle cockroaches are like this big. Okay, they're like larger than my microphone.
But
head.
those hissing
Okay.
cockroaches not scary. It's the flying home urban cockroach that is scary.
Is it? Okay, we find out. Huh? We send you a selection. Okay, we see. All right. So everyone, you are welcome to send Eugene a range of cockroaches.
You know, you may not know those who have gone for the Hantu night walk, right? The walk with Hantu with John and I. There's a stretch of the tour. There's a boardwalk
Yes.
where cockroaches will run rampant. I hated that path. I scared the
It's
hell
so
out of me.
much fun. Everyone just keep quiet and watch Eugene try to navigate. And it's a very long path. It's a very long path. Oh my God. I can't wait. I cannot wait to get back to Changi. And the cockroaches miss you, Eugene.
So now we are done with the scariest part of the story already. We can all say goodnight.
Okay.
Which
Wow.
Mark Shippo said it
Okay.
tastes like prawns sashimi. You eat lah, guys. You eat lah. I pass.
It tastes like shisamo. It tastes like shisamo. Especially if you get a pregnant cockroach. Okay, you're gonna have nightmares tonight. Okay.
Worse than mirrors. Or cockroach in mirrors. Or looking into the mirror and see a cockroach behind me. Wow, this is the worst nightmare ever.
No, you look in the mirror and then you see your reflection is a cockroach. Oh, dear,
Okay.
Oh dear.
Back
Okay,
to today's
back on
theme.
track.
Yeah.
Smoke and mirrors.
Correct.
Smoke and mirrors. Why did you choose this theme? Apart
Okay.
from the fact that you are terrified.
There was a reason for it. I just can't remember now. Because every week there is a theme that I go by. But in any case, for those of you who are quite astute and have been quite observant, you may realize that last week I said this week would be a story about rented units.
Yes, and people very generously recommended a song, which I spent the week learning. And then today, he sends me this confession. I'm like, where's the rental part? Where's the rental part? Did they rent a mirror? And then I said, hey, you changed the theme.
So I prepared the whole week, like I got really good confessions. People were calling in and they were sending voice messages and everything. And for some reason, they were sending me mirrors. And I
Blame them, is it? Their fault.
No, that's
I
not their fault.
see.
I cock out. So I prepared mirrors. Then today I was like ready to do Friday Night Live. I click open. I set up the hey, how come today's live says rental? Yeah. Oh. So I quietly changed the date, changed the poster, thinking no one realized, Only John go, hey, I thought today's supposed to be about rental. Shit. Got caught.
Yeah, because otherwise I will be singing Pet Shop Boys.
Never mind, next week. You can, next week.
Sabo. Okay. See, VN says, yeah, cockroach behind in the mirror cracked me up.
Worst, okay, guys? The worst. Anyway, so today's story, we have
looking at-
quite cow one.
No, I'm just saying you're looking in the mirror and then you start seeing two feelers just like, hey, why my hair standing up? Then it's like, wait a minute, my hair's growing longer and longer. And then it crawls over your face.
That's the end of me, guys. No more already. Habis.
Habis.
That hard.
Okay, anyway, yes.
Juju May says she's late. No, Juju May, you missed the funniest part of the show. Now we are getting serious already. Okay, we have three confessions for you today. I feel that all these three are hantu cow, and
Hantu kau.
I enjoyed interviewing them, listening to the stories, and also enjoyed rewriting it. Some of you may be wondering how these are done, and I will share the behind the scenes with you one day. In fact, I'm probably going to share it with the patrons first to let them see the workings, inner workings of how we take the confessions, how we treat the
Mm.
confessions, and how we discuss. I'm actually putting all this into a deck because I feel there is a case study, a craft, a science, and an art to dealing
Mm.
and respecting confessions the way we do. I really want to share that with you guys in time to come. So today we have three stories. We have,
Mm.
oh my God, what's the title? See, my window closed already.
Huh? Portal to the other
Portal
world.
to the other world. Okay,
That's the first one. Then we have Scry Me a River, and we have That Man in the Mirror.
so
Very short.
you're gonna be reading Portal to the Other Worlds, John.
Yes, I would do the first one.
All right. The first confession for tonight: The Portal to the Other Worlds. Confession by Paul.
An expat family was moving back to their home country, and they were trying to sell off their furniture as fast as they could before the lease ended at the end of the month. Many of the items were going for a very attractive price, and the owner was even willing to give me a further discount for bulk purchases. I just got the keys to my BTO flat, and I was excited to get a good deal. Some items were a bit too huge to fit into my HDB flat, but pretty much anything that could fit, I bought. The owner then offered me a better deal. Take everything they have, including paintings, high end bicycles, coffee maker, kitchenware, fixtures, for just 10 grand. She even suggested I could sell some of them and make a profit if I wish. It was a win win deal, and I went for it. By my calculation, the haul was worth 10 times what I paid, even after taking into consideration storage, transport, and disposal. Now, one of these items was a vintage mirror that I mounted in my living room facing the main door. I had stayed overnight at my new home while it was still being renovated, and I had not felt anything or encountered anything peculiar there. The encounters only began after I brought the furniture home. The first night, I was sitting in the living room watching Netflix till the wee hours of the morning when I thought I saw a lady standing in the shadows. I only had one lamp turned on, which illuminated a small area in the room, leaving the edges in dim light and darkness. That's where she stood, quietly, motionless, but unmistakable, the silhouette of an adult female figure. It didn't disappear even when I stared at it. I couldn't see the face as her hair was covering her entire face, but I could make out the shoulders, the baju kabaya, and the sarong. When I got up to turn on the lights, the figure vanished. The next few nights, I had more of such similar encounters. I didn't tell my wife about it because I didn't want to startle her. But more than that, I didn't really trust what I was seeing. But since she didn't bother me, I just ignored her. Maybe I was just tired, that's all. Then we had our housewarming party and we invited some friends over. One of those nights, we had a mahjong session throughout the whole night. All the lights were on and we were making quite a din. Being one of the first few units to move in on our floor, we didn't have to worry about the noise affecting our neighbors. Around 1 a.m., two light bulbs at the doorway suddenly went out. I changed to the spare bulbs that I had, and they too went out after a while. When I tested the bulb at the other light sockets, they worked just fine. Just the ones at the doorway where the mirror was. I blamed it on faulty wiring, but I should have seen that that was the first sign. Then, one of the guests who was watching television at that time, sitting on the same couch where I had been sitting before, commented out loud that there was a guest at my door. I turned to look, but there was no one. I thought it was one of my friends who probably came late and was trying to play a prank. I popped outside to take a look, but there was no one up and down the corridor. And then I smelled something rotten. Subtle. It came and went. I ignored it, thinking it was probably uncleared rubbish bin downstairs or something. That was the second sign. About an hour later, a wooden wall decoration in my living room flew off the wall and landed in the middle of the mahjong table. We were all stunned into silence. Everyone looked around, and then all eyes turned on me. The ladies were in the kitchen talking. The non mahjong group was on the couch watching TV. The mahjong group were all seated. The spot on the wall where the decoration was hanging came from beside the mirror, and there was no one there. None of my guests were even remotely near that area. If anyone had walked there, it would have been a clear line of sight from anyone, and they would have to walk around our mahjong table to get there. The mood suddenly became tense. Then, one by one, the mahjong players said, maybe it's time we took a break. Nobody was going to address the elephant in the room. Then we all vacated the living room to hang out in the tiny kitchen, a bunch of us chain smoking in the service yard. That is when my wife quietly confessed that she too had encountered uneasy feelings about the mirror, and that when she was home alone on some evenings, she too had seen an apparition of a woman in the corner of her eye, but she brushed it off as her own imagination. When I described what it was that I saw the first night, she confirmed that the description matched the image she saw. Coupled with what had happened tonight, it was confirmation that we were probably dealing with something real. Before the guests left, one of them suggested maybe it would be wise to get someone to come and bless the place, it being a new house and all. As my wife and I weren't religious people, we didn't know who to call. First person we called was a Chinese feng shui person who said that our house was okay. He suggested a few things for us to redirect the flow of energy, but that was about it. The second person I called was more of a metaphysician. At least that's what he calls himself. Some dude that mixed modern science with traditional teachings. His fee was just an ang pao, a red packet of any amount we could afford. I felt that was quite reasonable, so I went with it. He came in with a candle for cleansing, a pitchfork for resonance, and sage for energy reset. He explained that I had unwittingly created another doorway with the placement of the mirror, and from the energy signatures he detected, the mirror had once been used for seances and has thus been activated as a portal. In such cases, we would need to remove the portal first before he can clean the house. It sounded easy enough, but nobody expected what was going to happen. When I tried to unscrew the hinges holding up the mirror, the screwdriver slipped and went right into my left hand between my thumb and my index finger. At the same time, there was a loud crashing sound that came from the study room. We rushed in to check and saw that a photo frame had fallen off the bookshelf. The metaphysician dude said he had never encountered anything like this before. It didn't help that he looked more frightened than me and my wife. Initially, I wasn't afraid, but seeing him spooked in turn spooked us out. So, how? You want to give it a try? I asked him, suggesting perhaps he could help with the unscrewing of the mirror. He shook his head. He then tried lighting up a candle, but he had difficulty keeping the flame going. We closed the windows, we turned off the aircon, but still it felt as though there was a breeze coming from somewhere. Eventually, he managed to get the flame going and keep it going long enough to light up the sage and started to reset the energy of the place. And then he quickly left. He assured us that it will probably keep the spirit at bay for a few days, but we need to look for someone who can do a proper exorcism. That night, my wife and I stayed inside the room all night. Through the recommendation of one of my colleagues, we managed to find someone who was willing to take on our case. Although the cost was a lot steeper than Mr. Metaphysician, we knew that this exorcist was the real deal when he stepped into our house and immediately told us that he could see a lady in traditional Malay outfit, the same thing my wife and I saw on those few occasions. I hadn't mentioned the lady in the and sarong to my colleague, so it wasn't as if the exorcist had any prior knowledge. My wife and I were instructed to stay in our rooms until he called us to come out. We didn't see any reason to resist, and we did as we were told. From inside our rooms, we could hear bells and chanting, and then a long silence before he finally knocked on our bedroom door, saying it's safe for us to come out. The exorcist confirmed that the mirror had been used as a portal by another spiritual practitioner. There was nothing foul about it, though, he tried to assure us. The spirit of the lady was a guardian spirit who was somehow the gatekeeper of the portal. Whoever owned this mirror before was someone who dabbled with the low vibration entities, but mostly to help them. But since he or she was no longer around, the guardian was now without a master, and the portal became a free to use highway. There must be a few of these portals around, each with their own guardians. The exorcist told us that he had released the guardian of this mirror and he had chosen to move to the light. The mirror would not be giving us any more problems. I asked if the exorcist would be willing to come with me to the storage facility and help double check the other items that I had bought and release any trapped spirits. He agreed, and that evening itself, we went down to the warehouse where he did more of his bell ringing thing. I'm happy to report that everything is cleared and sold. My story may not be as exciting as your other confessions, Eugene, but this was something I needed to get off my chest. I have had no other paranormal encounters since, and I would really like to keep it that way.
Uh,
He didn't say what happened to the mirror.
all
So it's clean and can use lah.
clean and can use. No
So
more
no point
ghosts.
donating it to your museum lah.
Can donate lah. Then we put one story there lah.
Museum,
Was haunted. John, what happened? I cannot hear you now.
Oh no.
Okay, can
Can you? Okay, yeah. No, we cannot handle any more problems. Okay. Wow, quite an interesting story. I mean, it is your typical sort of cursed object, but not really cursed because it was more like a practical tool, right, for spiritual reasons. And then I guess if you don't deactivate things, then they continue to, and I like the idea that once you open the portal, it just stays open, right? So, so anything that's been used in these rituals can become portals. This bowl, that candle holder, you know. Wow, that's quite. Or is it just mirrors? So basically, do mirrors have a sort of predominance in terms of magical objects? Right? Are they more powerful? Do they attract these things? Do they make the magic easier? What can you tell us?
In order to prepare for this Friday Night Live, I actually did some research, spoke to some practitioners. I feel that each week, based on the theme, it forces me to learn more, and I love picking up all this information and sharing it with you guys almost firsthand. Like I'm excited about this info I get as well. So some of the practitioners told me that anytime you use any object for spiritual purpose, it is charged. An item is without charge until you imbue it with intent. And to answer your question, is it just mirror? No, John. Thai wandering monks, they can pick up a piece of rock, chant over it, and charge it and pass it to you as an amulet. So when people talk about amulets and protection, we always think of, must have the figure, must have this, must have that. If you look at practitioners from around the world, it doesn't just require an amulet or a religious symbol. With the right intent, blessed by the right master, anything can be an amulet. It's just that certain things, like in terms of science as well, metal is better conductor than, say, wood, for example.
Yeah.
Right? So in this case, mirrors are the perfect spiritual conduit, including water, including crystals. So these are the various items that is spiritually prepared. So you want to bless something, you want to imbue something, crystals, water, or mirror.
I've an interesting thought, right, that I had when I was thinking about this mirror thing is that how did that begin, right? So clearly, a mirror is magical, right? I don't mean capital M magical, but magical to us, right? Simply because it reflects. So it has this unique ability that very few things in the world can do, right? Similarly, water, so surfaces that reflect certainly will fascinate us because humans are like children, huh? So we are drawn to these things, right? And I'm wondering whether they were somehow innately magical at first, which is what led to this spiritual sort of significance, or whether it is mankind's obsession with this physical property of reflection that led us to think, wow, I give this thing significance. I mean, think back to the very, very beginning, right?
Yeah.
The first time a person saw a mirror or saw, a piece of rock that was reflecting, or saw his own reflection in the water, it must have been bizarre and unexplainable. It's like watching a video of a cat seeing its reflection for the first time, right? Except that as a human, you would start to worship it. You would start to say, oh, this is a portal, this is this is another world, this is something, right? And how likely is it that it is exactly that primitive belief that reflection cannot be natural? There must be magic because nothing else reflects, therefore this is magic. And then even as we got more and more scientific, that magic never left, and somewhere along the way it became real, that we made mirrors magical, we made them into portals because we kept insisting that they're portals. Right? We've
Yeah.
thought, yeah.
I like that idea. Like, it was human who give meaning and value, and therefore the collective belief creates the magic of an
Correct.
item. I see where you're getting with that. Except there were many other things from the dawn of time till now where people thought was magical, and then as we start to get more educated and knowledgeable, the magic sort of wanes away. Except mirrors. Mirrors have not waned with regards to its elements of magic. So I think, at least for the mirror topic, it is actually a portal and a doorway used since the Aztec times, before that 5,000 years, and all the way till now. So maybe that's the original portal. And also the Egyptians and Mayans and a few other, even the Aztecs, they were using gold as a reflective surface to use that as a portal. So you find a lot of temples, all these ancient temples, they have a lot of gold because that gold is powerful for two reasons. One, it is believed that in the Mesopotamian belief, gold is what brings the gods to our earth.
Right,
And it's the only planet that have gold in abundance. And that's why, if you believe the conspiracy theories, the gods, the old gods who then have their bloodlines all the way down till today, are hoarding all the golds, and that's why gold is precious metal.
I see.
Gold is also then used as a conduit for electricity and computers, and it seems to have a property for spiritual practitioners as well. So
I see.
it depends on where you're leaning on with that, right?
But I am fascinated. I mean, okay, so like wearing my I wearing my GM hat, which I literally am. This is my GM hat, right? I mean, horror filmmaking thrives on mirrors, right? There's hardly a single horror film in which a mirror does not play a part somewhere, And nowadays they're getting so clever that they purposely use the mirror to not scare you, right? To make you expect the scare, and then nothing happens. They just brush their teeth and they leave, But it has become part of the necessary vocabulary of horror, right? So it just proves the fact that we still haven't gotten over mirrors. It still spooks us out. It still spooks Eugene out. Even though it's such an everyday thing, something that we see so often should not be so magic to us. Yet clearly mirrors still defy belief somehow. Maybe because everyone's knowledge of reflection is very bad. So like you cannot explain. Who out there can explain very quickly exactly how a mirror works? There's. Eugene, can
that
you?
one very science lah, is reflection of light lah. Right?
What do you mean? Everything reflects light. What? How come this one can show a full reflection and other things cannot?
I'm sure there's a science thing. I'm going to science it for you later.
See, you cannot, right? You see, you cannot. You see, so it's still
Magic.
common but not basic. Common but not basic. It's still a freaking mystery. Right?
Any one of you out there, very sciencey one, can you please help me out here? Type it in the comment section below. How does mirror work?
It was primary 6, you should remember. Eugene.
Reflection of light, that's how I know.
Reflection of light on what?
On a... Okay. I'm not going to cock it out. I will Wikipedia it later, let you know. But back to this topic about this confession, the portal to the other worlds. There's so many layers to it. Now, the first layer is people talking about don't buy secondhand items. I see that in the comments as it goes up.
Unless you are Eugene.
Yeah, my wife just buys non-stop secondhand item. My house is just a museum already. So I'm wondering in this part, right? So, Angmo family, Caucasian family, may not even realize this thing is haunted. They're buying it,
Yeah.
they don't believe it, and because they don't believe it, whatever they see, or they may not even see it, it may not even come to them. They sold it off to this guy, and then things escalated. Or could they have something happen to them? They need to leave the place in a hurry. They start selling everything off so cheap. Because don't forget, at the very end, they went over to the warehouse to cleanse more things. So could this Amor family
Right.
have bought all this, totally have no clue about what happens in the Asian paranormal world, and then they become so sway, something happened, they have to go back to their home country?
I think my belief is very simple. It was that family that were using the mirror. And that's why they had to sell everything as a bundle. So no one would question that one item in there is dangerous. So everything just cheat 10 grand. Take it all. Don't count, don't look, don't test anything, just take it all away. You know? So
But
maybe their magic went wrong. They summoned something and now
oh,
they're
you
getting
think
out of the country.
this family is the one that summoned it?
Yeah.
The seance.
Yeah, why not?
True, huh?
We mustn't fall into the trap that all Westerners don't know their magic, huh?
No, but to be
They
fair,
could be a family of witches.
it's a seance lah. So seance, I think, was more of the European people coming down together, holding hands, and we call upon you.
Maybe they got something deeper, lah. Maybe
Yeah.
the mother is a scryer, the kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
You never know, right? Yeah, so the bloodline is from Merlin. I mean, anything could be possible. Anything. Okay, wait. Okay, so Rishi has explained it for you, Eugene.
Come,
Okay,
science
which
me.
is a very good explanation. Mirrors are specifically designed surfaces that reflect light with high precision and uniformity. Oh no, that's not his first one. Where's his first one? Oh no. There. The reflective surface of a mirror is typically made of glass with a thin layer of metal, such as aluminium or silver, deposited on one side. This metal layer is very smooth, allowing light to reflect. Chang jang.
Okay, yeah, that's what I say lah.
So
Same
it-
lah. That's
last time we had to draw those arrow to show how the reflection
Yeah,
works
yeah,
and all
yeah.
that, right? Yeah, I can draw the reflection of how a mirror works, but
but I can tell you, mirrors are not accurate. It put like 30 pounds on you. Yeah,
that's part of the magic. That's the black magic one. Then the ones that make you look slimmer, that's the white magic.
because I know I'm not that fat. When I look at the mirror, it's like, oh my god, can't be real lah. It's all the
Sure.
lighting.
That's very true. Yes, indeed. Okay, everyone's asking why I seem to be live streaming from inside an earthquake.
Tell them.
My screen is very shaky tonight. Okay, normally it's not this shaky, right? This is extra shaky. I don't know why, but I'm doing this on my bed, so it's a little bit bouncy. So every time I laugh or every time I move, there will be an earthquake. Okay, so I'm trying very hard to be very still.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can tell your friends and family that every Friday night you are in bed with Jonathan Lim.
Yes, and I'm not getting OnlyFans money. Yeah.
SC money very teruk one.
I'm live streaming from my bed, Mom. Okay. Wow, extra today.
Okay, so
Che.
the camera,
Alright,
the camera pula, the mirror,
The mirror.
the mirror
yes.
didn't seem to give any problems. When he moved in, he spotted at the corner of his eye, and in fact, the entity did not even run away; it just stood there.
But it did get a little bit mischievous and frisky, right? Maybe it didn't like mahjong, is it? Because it never bothered the husband, never bothered the wife. But when the friends came to play mahjong, it's like, I'm gonna throw things, I'm gonna fiddle with your light bulbs.
Maybe because
So
it's
why
loud,
was it
it's
acting up?
bright, and it's after it's. The ghost probably like, okay,
Hours.
after 10 o'clock, no noise, guys. Then this bunch playing mahjong, so noisy. I throw something.
Neighborhood police post lah. Okay, so it's very, very conscientious mirror, I think if this was a dramatic story, I would certainly like to see if it would escalate.
Like for example, instead of running off and hiding in the kitchen, chain smoking, if they had confronted the mirror and see what happened, right? You know, and also the guardian of the mirror was not inside the mirror. It was happily like in your living room, all over the place, outside the door, in the void deck, not in the corridor, So it seems a little bit free ranging.
Oh, no, because the
this
mirror was
hantu.
not a trap. The mirror was a portal, like a highway. Free
So
flow.
okay, right. So it's
Right?
not a residence or anything lah.
No, no.
She's a gatekeeper, right? Okay.
I think when we're thinking about
Then-
mirror, you're thinking about Constantine and the mirror trapping spirits. This one is not a trap; it's a highway.
I'm thinking of Oculus, right? If you guys have not seen the movie Oculus, go and watch it. It's a wonderfully clever movie about a cursed mirror, and it's about the reality inside the mirror, right? So it can roam free, it can roam around the room, but it can only roam around the reflection of the room
Makes sense. Makes sense.
and not the real room.
Makes sense.
Right, so yeah, so with that, how's it gonna kill you lah? So then you have to watch the film. Very good movie. Go watch it if you can.
What's the other one I wanted to say? Oh, he put it beside the door, right in front of the door. Now this
Yeah.
is a different layer. I'm just thinking, why would people put mirror in front of the door? Sometimes is to reflect bad luck, right? Reflect for feng shui purposes. But if this mirror is not your usual mirror that reflects things, but instead is a portal for highway, I would imagine that other spirits around the area would use that mirror to travel.
So this is where I think they were accidentally very clever, right, or very fortunate, because by putting the mirror at the door, all the spirits that come through the mirror immediately go out, leave their house, and go to the neighbor's house. So all the highway leads straight out of their flat.
So I think this family is quite lucky.
Imagine if they put it in the bathroom or in the master bedroom, then their house will be full of spirits, right? So lucky lah, just very hang that they hung it in the one place where the spirits go, okay, bye-bye.
Yeah. Not free show, man, for the spirits all coming in, all watching you in your bedroom.
Actually, how is this a new confession or old one?
New, relatively new. Newish.
It'll be really
BTO.
nice. It'll be nice to know exactly what the relationship of the mirror and the door were. Is it facing the door or is it at an angle?
Facing
to
the door. Facing the door.
So that means you come in, there's a wall lah.
Yes,
Okay, then it's perfect. Straight out the door.
Correct. So lucky. And I asked it, is it like because it's feng shui or whatever? Is that no? It just looks nice. Come in, and before you go out, you can adjust your hair. So this guy has no idea about superstitions or feng shui. He's just going by logic. Before I leave the house, I want to make sure I look good. So lucky lah.
That is a very, very good plan. Yeah. Okay, so guys, if you ever come across a mirror and you're not sure what to do with it, just put it facing the door or facing a window and you'll be fine.
Okay, so let's go on to the next confession. I'll be reading this one. I think there's somebody.
This one can.
Sorry?
This one a bit complicated. This one got some info that we need to learn because we need to learn about scrying and all. So.
Oh. Should we play that first? Yeah, I think we should play that first.
Yeah, so let's learn. I think we have someone who is very knowledgeable about these things. Right, who's gonna share? You wanna tell us a little bit about her secretly?
Yes. But before I forget, I want to thank Koshka for the donation as well. Happened during your confession. I didn't get to thank him or her just now. Okay, so this this person who saw that I put up the smoke and mirrors theme approached me. I know her from some time back, and John, you probably met her as well on the Walk with Hantu tour.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And she's a practitioner, and she's leaning towards more of the Western influence, and she reads a lot. She's very knowledgeable, and she says with regards to mirror, she has something to share. And I thought, okay, if you could send me an audio clip, I would love to play it. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Anonymous talking about mirrors. The voice has been changed to protect the identity of the person, but I hope you can make out the words because I put subtitles there.
Yay.
Enjoy.
So the thing about mirrors, I'm going to preface this by saying that I do not have a lot of practical experience working with mirrors.
And at least
they do not employ a lot of things with mirrors. So I'll just preface this by saying that. So that's why this thing might be a bit shorter than the other stuff that's gonna come. My 1-800 Sifu. To make it clear, I call her Sifu because she's a lot more experienced. She can do a lot more things than I can, but she doesn't teach me in any way. So there is no formal like knowledge sharing, and neither does she teach me. Maybe she tells me how to do some stuff, and I realize I can do it, but she doesn't like. Yeah, there's no formal like lesson or stuff. Maybe, for example, someone being a monk, definitely a lot more rigorous. I do not have any kind of training like this in my life. Anyway, she warned me not to mess with mirrors because any kind of rituals involving it can be very powerful. Mirrors are actually seen as have different meanings in different traditions. So mirrors can be a portal to see things. I guess mirrors can also be a portal for things to come and leave. I know doorways is one of them, as Murali ever mentioned before. But mirrors, in my experience, usually we use it to scry. Scrying means like to glimpse into could be futures. You can use it to try and see spirits actually as well. And there are different types of mirrors. You have the normal mirror that you can use, and you have what is called a dark mirror. So that's usually made from, let's say, a polished piece of obsidian. It's dark, and you sit basically in a room. Usually, if you want to scry with a mirror, or you can use it with a crystal ball or any reflective surface. To make it easy, you can just do it with a mirror as well. You sit, and you have a dark room with a candle, and you get in a very meditative state. And, you can call upon spirits, ask for them to appear to you in the mirror, or you can go into a vision and ask for things to be shown to you. Two types of mirrors. One of the very famous Western form of magic is known as Enochian magic. It was developed in the Elizabethan times, rather it was received, maybe that's the better word, in the Elizabethan times. And there was like quite a lot of complicated barangs that
people who received it, the occultists, had to create, and one of which was actually, they actually did use a mirror. If I'm not wrong, I think it's a dark obsidian mirror. I've seen on display.
And it's a occult item, but they just display it like normal. And it is used, that's a dark mirror, and it's used for communication between the spirits or the Enochian angels, whatever they call it, to bring through knowledge of this magical system. That's basically primarily how mirrors are at least used in occult. Another way mirrors are used, but primarily actually to receive communication. Another way, but my 1-800 Sifu told me not to do it, but it can be done. It's you have 13 candles behind this mirror. You light them all up at midnight, and then you can ask to see, for example, like the one that you're gonna marry. And apparently her uncle, the one that she learned things from, I think he was the one who probably told her that this can be done, and then she told me this can be done, and then she just said, don't do it because it's very dangerous. Don't play around with mirrors. And in my own training, when I was learning certain things, when I had to scry, I have to take a mirror sometimes, and then you sit, and and then you see stuff. To be very fair, there's this thing called the Troxler effect, which is basically when you sit down and the darker it is and you face a mirror and you relax your eyes, you tend to see pretty scary stuff appearing in it. That's called the Troxler effect. But I think in order to avoid this effect is you have to be very conscious and, be in a certain state of mind before you try to do these things. So that's at least what I know about mirrors. That's what I can tell you. Of course, there's also like the whole, what was it? The Bloody Mary game, right? I don't know. I think when I was in secondary school, primary school, I heard of it where you say Bloody Mary to the mirror. I personally have not tried it. I don't care that even if I have abilities, it's quite scary. So I cannot report on that. I would never want to do something like that knowingly. In my limited knowledge, know about mirrors, at least I could share. Might be a good nugget drop. I don't know, during the podcast. Up to you, Eugene. Do what you will with the knowledge.
my favorite thing that she said was, the Shifu told her it can be done. She told me it can be done, but she said don't do it. I'm like, that was the 13 candles thing, which is very interesting. First time I've heard of that.
Yeah. She mentioned
Wow.
Enochian mirror, so I went to Google it up.
Mm,
It's the first time I'm hearing it, guys. Sharing it with
really?
you all.
I
Yeah.
know Enochian. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I speak Enochian.
I know Enoki mushrooms, lah. The one I know. Enoki mirror, don't know. But this one is the one
Okay,
that
tell us, show us is that the obsidian or there?
yeah. So
Okay.
it's the D's. So if you check out on Enochian,
Yeah.
there is a Wikipedia article on that. So you
Yeah.
can go and
I
check
mean,
it
this
out.
is John Dee, right? A very famous magician from the 16th century, I believe, right? Yeah, and he developed this whole system of magic called Enochian magic, and used mirrors and stuff. But actually, and actually, a lot of the tropes we know about black magic, white magic, right, come out of Enochian magic. John Dee was very much a father of tropes. So a lot of things about candles and mirrors and all this kind of stuff originates with the use of Enochian magic, because he was the first, I would say, mass magician. He was the David Copperfield of his time, and popularized magic. Before that, magic was something very secret and very something you do in the woods at night, naked kind of thing. You don't talk about it, you don't publish it abroad. You don't. Yeah, but he became a celebrity, right? And he served the king, so he was the king's magician. So suddenly, magic became a talking point everywhere. So a lot of his habits became things that we now see in all the movies and stuff like that. But I discovered that the fun about the Enochian magic is it's based on Enochian, which is actually the language of the angels. They believe lah, right, that the angels speak Enochian. So any Enochian magic is magic to do with the summoning and the consulting of angels or other spiritual beings, which is almost all the magic we know today lah. Right? So very interesting. Very interesting.
Was that where Enoki mushroom came from as well?
Yeah, correct. You can also use the mushroom. The mushrooms are a portal.
Is
Yeah.
that the same as magic mushrooms?
The same mushroom 6 months later will be a magic mushroom, because when you eat it, you will go somewhere. No, okay. Wait. I want to read a comment before I forget.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, lost already. See, it scrolled so fast. Someone said, Ivan Xia said, mirror directly facing front door is bad feng shui. It reflects away the wealth which is supposed to be coming in.
Oh.
Agree, right?
No, but then again, they say put mirror in front of the house if it's facing a crossroad junction, or if the structure in front of your house is very sharp, so you reflect that as well.
So you have a choice lah, right? If you put it there, you will reflect away the bad luck, but you will also reflect away the good luck. Basically, you reflect everything, right? I mean, so if you ask my grandma, she will say, right, because for my grandma, what she was most afraid of is that your wandering soul at night will walk into the mirror, because your wandering soul apparently is a bit foolish, right? So that's why at the foot of your bed cannot put mirror, because once
Correct.
come out of the body, straight away go inside the mirror, lost.
But all these
right?
hotel rooms, they always have mirrors in front of the bed, and in some hotels they have mirror on the ceiling, mirror on the walls.
So Paris, Maitreya, do not astro travel in a hotel room. You will end up somewhere else. I mean, that's the idea lah, right? That when the spirit leaves your body, it may get confused which one is the real you, right? Yeah, so I guess a mirror at the door is also dangerous, because if your spirit is coming home from outside, then open the door and then, oh, that's me, there's room, go inside the mirror. Wow, okay. Okay, someone is saying, Joby is saying, David Copperfield's magic is nothing like Enochian. No, of course not. Of course not. I'm just saying, in terms of popularity,
right? Okay, he was the David Blaine of his time.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. If David Blaine became knighted by the Queen, and yeah.
Would he be more like Merlin
Oh,
because he served the king, isn't it?
oh yes, okay, probably. I mean, I guess many people drew a connection between him and Merlin because the last time there was such a royal magician, it was as far back as the Arthurian legends.
Mm.
So he was sort of that concept revived lah, right? Someone who was reliable and but he was much darker than Merlin lah. He was up to all sorts of weird shit. John Dee is a very fascinating person. I'm amazed they haven't made a movie about him.
Okay.
Maybe
Well,
his followers are still around. They will not allow it.
we learned something new today, guys. Friday Night Live is full. Okay, this one is definitely a Ministry of Spiritual Affairs segment.
We must send a team to England
Yeah.
to solve this.
Okay, let's go to
Okay.
this confession. It's called Scry Me a River.
Mm.
Confession by, is a pseudonym, is by Lilith. In my younger days, I was enamored with the idea of being a Wiccan. I would say that I went quite deep into it and consider myself a practicing witch and a Luciferian. My patron goddess is Lilith, and I have an altar at home dedicated to her. I would chant Lilith's end while focusing on her sigil every night without fail. For many others, connecting to Lilith is tough because she is a goddess who will not be commanded. But for me, it came easily. So I embraced her as she embraced me. I was in one of the Wiccan forums when I stumbled upon someone who was selling handcrafted Lilith's black mirror. The black mirror, as advertised, was to be used as a conduit to aid our connection to the Dark Mother. Others who had bought the mirror had given it rave reviews. One of the common uses of the mirror, besides communication, is to scry. It also stated that this item was not to be taken lightly, as it was consecrated under the necessary time and elements to empower the connection between the goddess and her devotee. This was the real deal, and for serious buyers only. I immediately fell in love with it. The cost per item, inclusive of delivery, came up to almost 500 USD, but I felt it was well worth it. When I received it, I could immediately feel the connection. The oval mirror was painted over with matte black paint, so you can't see the reflection, just vague impressions. On the top of the mirror, hand-drawn in silver, is Lilith's sigil, and around the frame there were inscriptions. The first night I meditated with the mirror, I felt the force of the connection was so strong. It felt like Lilith was practically in my room with me, a forgiving but fiery presence. I then asked her to show me what my boyfriend, who was living overseas, was doing at that time. And I got the image of him in his striped boxers sitting on a couch in his living room playing video games. After I ended my scrying, I called him up to verify my vision, and it was true, everything that I saw. We were both pleasantly surprised. I did this a couple more times. With each successful vision, I got more and more confident of my abilities. It came to a point where my boyfriend said he could feel me entering into his dreams. Of course, we tried exploring further, and by that I think you know what I'm alluding to. It felt good to be able to consummate our relationship despite the distance. At first, it was all done in the spiritual realm between two souls. But as my powers grew, I was able to summon his soul out of the mirror in the form of a shadowy figure. Words were exchanged through telepathy. I felt loved, and I fell hard. I found my soulmate. Scrying into the abyss was getting easy as well, and I was even able to do it any time of the day, and not just during the nightly prayers. All I had to do was visualize the black mirror and summon my boyfriend. And he would appear by my side. Between the daily text messages and his shadowy presence, I felt like we were the perfect couple. We enjoyed all the good bits and never had any of the usual couple arguments. I know what you must be thinking. How do I know all these are real and not just in my head? That's because I have bruises to show for and I was pregnant. This went on for a few more months until one day I had a vision that my boyfriend was cheating on me. I confronted him, of course, and he came clean that he had been seeing someone for a while. Because the long distance relationship just wasn't working out. What about the past few months of spiritual intercourse and close encounters? I asked him. What about the baby? He said that he just told me what I wanted to hear to feel good about myself. His new girlfriend had already moved in with him and been living with him 6 months prior. He said that everything I had encountered was just in my head. And how could a child possibly be his when he was not even here with me? That fucked up my world so much. I refused to believe him. I knew he was lying. He was just saying all this to hurt me so I would let him go. He wouldn't reply to any of my messages and emails, but his shadow soul would still come find me every night. He was still loving, but his text messages stopped completely. It was a very confusing time. Each passing week, my belly grew bigger. One night, I confronted the shadow. Who are you? It smiled at me, and in my head, it whispered, your soulmate. I carried on this relationship with the spirit and allowed it what it wanted to do to me. It was the only solace I had from the heartbreak. I welcomed it, but I resisted it at the same time. I was living in a dreamlike state where reality and imagination bled into one another. I cried every day, but those days were all a blur. If you ask me to recall, I can't. Time and reality were very disjointed at that time. Then one day, again, out of the blue, just like how I had a vision of my boyfriend cheating, I got another vision of a gigantic serpent coiling around me. Instead of feeling suffocated, I felt warm, healing embrace of goddess Lilith. The snake spoke to me, telepathically, that my time of penance was over. I went back to the forum where I bought the mirror and shared what I had encountered. Advice from the others in the community started pouring in. The suggestion was that things had gotten out of hand and I should smash the mirror, which I did. The shadow presence stopped appearing. I carried the baby to full term and gave birth to a healthy baby girl. Months later, I got a message from my ex-boyfriend's girlfriend who found me on Facebook that he had passed away a few months ago. Right about the time I broke the mirror. I wonder if that had a connection somehow. I believe that all this was a test from Lilith to see if I was worthy, and I probably let her down by falling in love, and this was my punishment to teach me a painful lesson. There can be no other love than the love for the Dark Mother, especially not for a mortal man. I promised myself I would never cry for a man ever. I named my daughter Lilith, Lilyth, and she's 8 years old this year.
Wow. A lot of people are quite affected by this story.
Wow.
There are quite a lot of things. I think quite a lot of aspects of the story that are striking. You know, I mean, I for me the twist was very great, right? It's suddenly you're like, oh no, if it wasn't him, then who was it? You know, and then suddenly the whole thing goes up to another level. It started as something so romantic, right? Like, wow, you know, and they can have a baby from far away, and then I was like, oh my god, what impregnated her, and what is this child?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, and suddenly it's omen territory. You know, so what do you think was going on? I mean, okay, apart from the fact that there is her own interpretation is that, you know, Lilith was exerting control, right, and sort of being territorial, but that still doesn't explain the insemination and the baby.
I
So,
spoke to
what?
another practitioner. Wow, I tell you, the research in this team, and I asked this specifically. I said, okay, I didn't. To be fair, I did not ask the confessor. I was respectful. I didn't go, are you sure you didn't sleep with anyone else? I did not.
Of course not.
But that was
Yeah, of course not.
that was in my head, frankly. And I think that's in everyone's head. So I asked the practitioner, I said, we know of Mother Mary, Immaculate Birth. Were there any other historical data that talked about pregnancy without the sex? And she said,
Right.
yes. In fact, in the olden times, the old churches, not talking about the Catholic and the Christian churches, talking about the temples, the churches, the more pagan practices, you cannot give birth until you have gone to the temple, seek the permissions from the gods, and then they will allow you, if they see that you're fit, to get married and be pregnant. So there's a lot of goddesses, not goddesses, there's a lot of priestesses who
Right.
were
Okay.
pregnant without having a man in their life because they were the vessel for the gods. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was what I'm just sharing.
I'm skeptical.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical because we all know what happens when women join cults. Okay, they easily get pregnant, but it's not as spiritual as that, lah.
Yeah. So yeah, but
we
I'm
don't-
saying like wholesale, right? I'm just giving you
Yeah.
the wholesale information.
Yeah, but I mean, it sounds like that might be an origin story for what became a rather devious practice, lah. You know, and I mean, because obviously, the women in the cults, want to believe this, right? So there must be a story to inspire them.
So surely the science doesn't support it, lah. This is purely in the realm of supernatural already.
But right? We know that there are species of and other beings, not other beings, other animals, insects, and the like, that can self-inseminate, right? Because they have both sperm and ovaries, right? So they can do that, So and I mean, they, when the time comes, they just develop what is needed, and then they, right? So who's to say that there aren't a very small percentage of humans who have, this strange biological gimmick.
But this takes go fuck yourself to a different level, lah.
No, but no need to fight yourself. Just go go fertilize yourself.
Yeah, fertilize
Go,
yourself.
go fertilize yourself. I mean, but that's beyond crypto already. Okay,
Yeah.
that's like okay, wait. Two little donations to acknowledge.
Yeah.
Okay. We have. Oh no, wait. Okay. what's
Dice
so
Punk
fast?
Studios.
Yes, Dice Punk.
And
Good
Hansel
advice.
Tama.
So Dice Punk says, "Don't summon mirror entities for casual sex." That's correct. Make sure it's a long-term relationship.
Wouldn't be such a bad idea for some people.
And then Hansley Tama says, "It's not a vision. When you do bad things, it's very easy to see how it ends." That's true. That's true, right? So sometimes what we call visions are really just us knowing how it's going to turn out, lah. So some people do believe that it's us who feed ourselves the visions.
Come again?
Right,
How does that
because-
work? Like you just because you want it,
That means
you manifest
so
it.
I if you say I do that, I saw this in the mirror, right? I'm like, yeah, you played it for yourself, because you projected the future and you played, because who is the most powerful magician of all? It's your subconscious mind, right? Because you know it all. Some people believe that we are able to see the future. It's just that most of us cannot consciously do anything with it, right? So those times where people get glimpses of the future, dreams of the future, those are little leaks in the information system, right? But your subconscious mind is not working according to progressive time. Your subconscious mind might know the past and the present and the future at the same time. It's just that your conscious self cannot deal with that shit, right?
Wow.
Because you would go
Today's
mad.
topic
You
very
would-
chim.
So there are people who can access this knowledge or can access some of it. And that becomes what we call psychic, right? And when they do scrying and all that, it's really just put a projector there and, project the thing out there, lah,
Yeah.
So your mind is giving you ways to receive this information so that you can trust it. If I see it in a mirror, it makes more sense than I had it in a dream. Somehow it externalizes the knowledge, right? So, but did it come from you rather than from the mirror? Why would the mirror know your future? But your subconscious mind might know.
It's a reflection. You project
It's
it out.
yeah.
You're a projector,
from
lah.
within.
You're just a projector,
Yeah.
lah.
Correct. You yourself are the projector, right?
Mm.
So but we need to externalize that these rituals make these things more acceptable, more believable. How do I explain it to a client or someone who comes up to me, right? Like, how do you see it? I just know. I don't think people are going to believe that easily, but I saw it in this basin of water. Somehow that makes more
Okay,
sense.
okay.
you know right,
I like
because we
what.
want to believe in magic.
True.
We believe in magic faster than we believe in psychology.
Yeah.
Correct.
If you're a supernatural
Correct.
confessions community, lah. That's what it is.
That's why every party you go to, there's someone doing close-up magic, but there's no one doing close-up therapy. That's my final. That's my final word on that.
I like what Perry said. This is
Okay.
the. I didn't think
Wow,
of it
what?
this way, but he says that orang minyak.
Why?
He said the black figure is orang minyak.
What? Oh, okay. Oh, I thought. Okay, I thought Paris was saying Orang Minyak can be used to scry the future because he's very reflective. You ask the Orang Minyak stand still, read the future in his backside. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it's possible. I mean, there's so many things that this thing could be, right? It could be a Hantu Raya.
I don't know. The chat is going
Right?
fast and furious, man. I'm trying to catch up on reading all this. Yeah, so the
wow.
Malays who believe it's Hantu Raya, right? Because it could take the form of a human being and then copulate with you.
Correct.
That's very classic story. Now this mixed with Lilith and Hantu Raya is very East meets West, which then brings to mind that perhaps all spiritual entities are crossover. We just call them by different names.
So I'm going to apply my usual tactic, which is I don't think it's necessarily the same thing. Right? There are two different threads of phenomena happening.
Uh-huh.
Right? So imagine if the boyfriend actually can do a little bit of black magic, okay? Let's say, right? And so he sends a Hantu Raya to go and sleep with her.
In his
Get
place.
And get her off his back while he goes and has his 6-month-long, new lover, right? And that's one haunting. Nothing to do with the mirror, nothing to do with anything else, right? They just connect because the mirror becomes a conduit for the Hantu Raya. You see? But the mirror and her sort of belonging to Lilith and all that, that's her journey. Boyfriend side, Hantu Raya side, not relevant. I do not see Lilith in cahoots with this black shape. Two separate entities completely.
But it's a Lilith mirror, what? Lilith conduit, what? Sure.
Huh?
You think the Dark Mother will allow some other entity to use her portal?
Unless you tell me this mirror belonged to Lilith, I don't think it's exclusive lah.
Okay lah. Yeah. It's
You know what I
created.
mean? Yeah. So I mean, if it was used to summon Lilith or to connect with Lilith, doesn't mean no one else can use it. Right? So who knows, right? I mean, but it is a very interesting combination of Wiccan beliefs and other a mysterious shadowy belief lah, right? Because if it's Hantu Raya or that kind of thing, then it makes more sense that she can actually feel the physical act of love and even get pregnant, because there is an entity there. Right? It's not smoke and mirrors. It's a stud ghost.
That would I think the Hantu Raya will make the most sense, because historically Hantu Raya have also impregnated people, women.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it has to be an entity that's capable of doing that, capable of procreation. Right? And close enough to the human species lah. So it could even be a jinn. How happy will you be? Because they are also smoky. Right? See, so lots of possibilities. I think we need better details about their sex acts. What kind of kink was it into?
I think we need the blood test, a DNA check from the daughter. I like what RSVP by Grace said. Hi, your father's name, race, please. I just put down Hantu. So there's Chinese, Malay, Indian, others, and Hantu now.
I want to do up a test sheet to figure out which spirit it is. Like if no lube was needed, then it's Orang Minyak. If very hairy, then it's Hantu Raya. So we can figure out quite easily. I think we can do our bit of CSI. Hey,
Oh,
hello,
hey,
DJ Jason
DJ.
Lim.
Long time never hear from him
Okay,
already.
come.
Okay,
Okay, you read
I
this.
read.
You read this.
In a local bookstore, a customer asked the cashier, "Hey, do you have any books on paranormal?" The cashier whispered, "They are watching. Be discreet." And they handed them the book titled Supernatural Confessions. Thank you.
Wee.
Ayo, so nice. This Jason came for our live show, no? You know not? Paika and all,
Wow,
no, he came.
product placement. Very good.
Mm.
So, what do you guys think about this mysterious, shadowy lover? Let us know what your theories are. So we've said it could be the orang minyak, it could be a jinn, it could be the hantu raya, it could be so many things. But any other surprises from different cultures, maybe? I just don't imagine a connection between Lilith and any sort of male sort of studly thing, right? In fact, it was Lilith not wanting that.
Mm. Mm.
So clearly, this is a conjunction of two different intentions, two different agendas, right?
I think if
And
anything at all,
Lilith,
if Lilith did come in, Lilith have given her the vision that the boyfriend was cheating. That's probably the most authentic
yeah,
vision.
yeah, that's more likely, right? So it's two sides lah. It's guys versus girls lah. You know, yeah, and the fact that I mean, if we do assume that there's some connection between the breaking of the mirror and the killing of the guy,
Oh,
then
yeah, how? Hey, that one also. I mean, okay lah. Skeptics will say
she
it's
guessed only
coincidence,
lah.
huh? Except skeptics.
She's not sure. She's not sure, right?
Yeah, but
She's not sure.
coincidentally, the dates all line up. She break the mirror, the guy died. Coincidence, right?
Correct.
But could that be? No, there's the. I mean, when I read it, I was like,
It depends on how involved the guy is lah. So if the guy really did send something, then it's quite possible that it bounced back on him, right? But if the guy is innocent and was just not say innocent, but just having an affair and didn't know anything and is totally clueless, then I feel a bit not fair lah that he died because of something else.
No, but the girls in the community will go like, yeah, that guy deserves to die, that cheating bastard.
I think so. I don't know enough about the Lilith worship, right? The cult of Lilith to know whether or not it's one that denies the role of the male. Is it a very sort of women only kind of thing, or what is the position of the male within Lilith worship, right? Should they all just be wiped off the face of the earth, or what, right? So it's a bit tricky to, I mean, clearly we know from Lilith's own history that she's quite resentful towards the male sex.
Yeah, she's the original feminist.
Yeah, because basically she rejected the power that Adam was supposed to have over her. She's like, no, I'm not doing that shit. I will live my own life, So then, ta-da, and then she was then thrown to the demons lah, right? Because she was banished for that act of feminism. So I guess
Does that make all the feminists out there cultists to a certain degree?
I think that a lot of this a lot of what we nowadays call witchcraft or now Wiccan, right? And a lot of these traditions were about empowering the woman in the only arena that they could be empowered. It's not legal, it's not formal, it's not business, it's not official. It has to be secret and in the woods, right? Like the only wisdom that these women could have is witch wisdom. They're not allowed to study books in schools like everyone else. So their only wisdom is nature wisdom, lah. So a lot of the formation of magic and superstition has always been sexist, lah, right? And very much pro woman. Because the men were too busy with being engineers and inventing things to take care of these things.
So we have Aware for women. I think for as the Minister of Supernatural Affairs, we should set up one more department called Beware to support women for spiritual studies and knowledge.
Not called don't know where.
Don't know where.
Don't know where. Like, where's it from? Don't know where. Okay, Frankie is okay. Yeah, okay. Frankie is recommending arousal. Okay, never mind.
Uh,
Thank you, Frankie, for that contribution. But no, no.
Dice Punk put in $5 to give us a comment. Let's read this. This is very important. Huh?
Okay,
I
where,
don't
where,
think a
where?
ghost can impregnate a woman. My theory is that it was a orang Uber Eats. Cilaka tau, Dice Punk. Cilaka you.
She ordered goreng pisang. That's why. Um,
Pisang
I
Raja.
do. I do like the Hantu Raya idea because it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I feel it has to be something of that nature. I mean, okay, there are stories of jinn also impregnating humans, right?
Correct.
So there's a certain section of spirits
Overlap.
that obviously can do it lah.
Mm,
So
mm,
I think that that's something from that side of the magic realm and
mm,
not necessarily part of what Lilith is doing.
mm.
So it is a clash. It is a clash lah. It's a clash. Guy magic versus girl magic.
Wow, this
You
one
know.
is worth talking about, man. But I love it. I think Perry said something about you all think you all anyhow connect to dark mother will connect to you, like so easy. That's,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, alamak, your mic is off, us.
Still
Okay,
off?
yeah, I can hear you already.
Um, Okay. Yeah, I did wonder whether it was that easy, and what the origin of that mirror must be that is so special, right? Was it an obsidian mirror?
No, it's a black matte painted mirror.
So it's not even like super ancient, right? You like buy from Taobao and paint it black. I'm like that only
No,
can
it's not buy for Etsy one.
can summon Lilith. Cannot lah. I don't know. For me, like if you want to
Hey,
summon
got
Lilith,
sigil,
it has
got inscription. No, don't play.
who cannot draw.
Hello.
Right.
500
For me,
USD
there's
no, Etsy one no.
expensive only lah.
Uh,
I mean, to me, like, okay, if it's an obsidian mirror, because obsidian was actually used before, like other surfaces were discovered or invented, right? 'Cause obsidian is one of the most reflective, in a natural way, right? It doesn't need too much polishing. Once you get it smooth, it's very reflective, but it's very spooky because if you see yourself in an obsidian mirror, it is a dark reflection. Right, so straight away you'll be like, oh, am I seeing the future of myself? Am I seeing the other world? Because it looks so different, right? And we were so gullible last time. So, but at least you tell me it's an ancient obsidian mirror, I can believe it's got powers, like. If it's just painted by someone on Etsy, I don't know, leh. I don't know, leh.
I just said something no about us. He says,
What?
Eugene, Jonathan, they are not sexist. They are sexy.
Of course. That's a t-shirt. That's a very good t-shirt. Not sexist, just
All right,
sexy.
11:30. Lucky we got no featured confession
Oh.
tonight. We can eat a bit time to 12. Okay, final confession, shall we, John?
Yes, this is my favorite confession because it is set in my favorite place for ghost stories to be set.
This final confession for tonight in a very chim topic, unexpectedly chim topic. It's called
It's a very unchim confession, very straightforward. right?
yeah,
Very
this
short.
one very unchim. You will love it. And it's also the song title that John sang at the start of this
Yeah.
show. This one is called The Man in the Mirror. Confession by TTL. Take it away, John.
This incident took place in Pulau Tekong on a Thursday night when I was doing sentry duty at an installation. Guard duties are done in pairs with shift change throughout the night. When we did our rounds, my buddy and I felt it was kind of weird. This wasn't the first time we did guard duty, and nothing scary had happened to us before. So for me at least, I don't think it was our overactive imagination playing tricks on us. But that night, somehow, we both just felt that there was something in the air and it didn't feel right. Like a gut instinct, sixth sense. We said to each other, never mind, we just do chop chop and fuck off. We did our usual round, 3 plus 4 a.m., and it was extra foggy that morning. Our tiny ass torchlight was not much use, but the moonlight was bright enough to illuminate the path ahead of us. Thankfully, we didn't encounter anything during our shift, and we got back to the installation safely. The sense of foreboding, however, still persisted, but we kept our feelings to ourselves. We didn't want to rattle the next batch of sentry personnel unnecessarily. It's an unspoken rule. If any of us needed to use the bathroom, we would both go to the toilet together. The toilet structure is in such a way that the row of cubicles are facing the wash basins. So when you are standing at the basin, you can look into the mirror and see the reflection of the cubicle doors behind you. Since I didn't need to pee, I just stood at the basin to wash my face and hands and just hung around to waste time till my buddy was done. From the reflection, I could see the cubicle door open behind me and my buddy stepping out. You done? Ready to go? I asked out loud, but there was no reply. I looked up at the mirror and I could see my buddy standing behind me. He was looking down, adjusting his pants or something, so I couldn't see his face clearly. He just stood silently still behind me, still looking down. No reply. Hey, don't be an idiot, eh? I said. Still no reply. Then there was the flushing sound from a cubicle, and from the corner of my eye, I saw my buddy stepping out to the wash basin. What do you say? I heard my buddy asking. I kept my eyes on the mirror and I was rooted to the spot. The figure was still there behind me. Ready to go? My buddy called out. In my mind, I was going to shake my head, but my body was not reacting. I was frozen in place, a chill running down my spine, and all my joints were locked. Oi, my buddy called. What's wrong with you? I contemplated my options. Turn around, or crab walk sideways to my buddy, or just pretend nothing is wrong and walk away normally. Suddenly, my buddy just dashed away. That was my cue. I turned and I dashed out after him. When I finally caught up with him and when we were safe in the bunk, I asked him why he ran. He said, because I never responded to him and stood there just staring in the mirror, he thought I was possessed, so he ran away. I asked him if he saw anyone behind me, and his face just went pale. No, why? What did you see? I contemplated telling him, but then, looking at how spooked he was already, I felt it was better not to spook him further in case he ran away again. I don't fancy being alone for the rest of the night, and dawn was only a few hours away. I kept my back to the wall and I avoided looking at any shiny surface.
I like this one. Lah. This one's too cute already.
Fun. But how can you not tell your friend? I mean, how did the friend go to sleep without hearing the answer? It's like, what do you see? Oh, okay, don't tell me, don't tell. Lor. No way, man. I'll be pestering the whole freaking night. All right? There's no way I'm letting that go. Come on. No one on this chat is going to end the story there. Okay?
No, because our Supernatural Confessions community are smarter than this guy.
But okay, so I had a bizarre thought very early on because he saw in the reflection his buddy come out of the cubicle, standing behind him, looking down and adjusting his pants. And I'm thinking, if my buddy stands behind me adjusting his pants for such a long time, I would run for a totally different reason.
Yeah, lah. You know, lah,
Interesting.
tua tiao lah must stuck in nicely. Shake a bit.
No, putting in is never mind. I scared taking out. But I mean, this is classic. Okay, this is so classic, right? It strikes close to home because it was exactly not in exactly the same toilet, but in exactly this kind of bloody army toilet that I had encounter. I think I told you all before already. Is the Hantu Penanggal thing, you know? So I very much don't like to let my eyes wander when I look at these type of mirrors.
You
I
got
just
hit in
focus
toilet.
on my exactly. I thank you. Yes, exactly. So, but no, seriously, right? I will always look only at myself, right? And I don't want to look in the background because, yeah, lah. I mean, if there's anything, then I'm just asking for trouble, right? So, yeah. So I don't want to know. I really don't want to know. You know. So, ha 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 ha.
Hey, what's the story?
And
Tell us lah.
I told you all before. I told you before ages ago already.
Yeah, for
Okay,
those
never mind.
for people who log in tonight have not heard it before, just tell them lah. I also forgot what is it.
Okay, short version. Okay, it was early morning, like before 5 a.m. I was up. I was the first one in the toilet. This was the empty line toilet at Beach Road Camp. Okay, which
The building is still there. Okay, so I was there, and in that toilet, there's a little section partitioned off for the ladies, right? So the guys have this L-shaped one, and then that little corner is for the ladies. Now the ladies has a wall that goes quite high up to the ceiling, and then the last few feet was mosquito netting, right? Okay, so I was looking in the mirror, brushing my teeth, right? And for some reason, I let my eyes wander, right? And when I looked at the top of the wall where the mosquito netting was, just up against the ceiling, I saw a black roundish shape that was there, right? And I looked very carefully. I thought, okay, is it a bird or is it something perched there, right? But it wasn't moving. It wasn't moving at all, and it wasn't like attached to the wall or like gripping the gripping the net or anything. It was not part of the net, right? And I thought, oh, maybe it's a balloon or something. And when I looked carefully, I saw what I was very sure looked like hair. And that's it. I was out of there, and I told everyone, don't go in the toilet until the sun comes up. And I told one of the female clerks, I said, I think you better not use that toilet today. So it's not much of a story, but it was a very close encounter. And I'm just glad that I wasn't on the other side of that cubicle. I mean, the other side of the wall, because imagine if one of the ladies had used the toilet. That's who it was waiting for.
But now that you are, a host of Supernatural Confessions, and we have a
Yes.
nice bond with each other, what would you have done differently if you were in that position now?
Well, I mean, first of all, if you're already looking in the mirror, then first thing you do is document lah, right? So point the camera at the reflection, zoom, so that I
Take
got something
photo.
to show on Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I can draw a circle, and then everyone can help me verify whether it's hair or not, right? In my mind, I could imagine what it was immediately, and I didn't want to stay long enough to verify. Like I was already telling myself, she's gonna turn around. She's gonna freaking turn around. So get out before she turns around. So yeah, so I chickened out, right? But I guess if you ask me back now to go back there now, I would still chicken out, but I would remember to video it first, then chicken out.
I know when you're narrating the confession, okay, there's nothing much to dissect, quite honestly lah. There's nothing to dissect. But what really stood out for me was when he stood at the mirror and then the friend came out and like, oi, shall we go or not? He's still standing there. Like, do I crab walk? Do I turn? What do I do?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And then the friend ran away. So it's John, can't hear you. Your mic's off. Okay, speak again. Yeah.
whoop,
Okay,
am I
that's-
back?
yeah, you're
Okay,
back.
yeah. No, the friend ran away for a totally different reason. It's just so funny, But I mean, okay, this would be the perfect ending short film for an episode of Ghost Mortem. Right? Like 3-minute short film. This would be so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, was it a doppelganger? Because we know that the doppelgangers in army camps are a very common sighting. He didn't actually see the face.
No.
He only assumed it was his friend because who else could it be, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So was it A, soldier spirit? B, was it something that was deliberately taking the friend's form with menace in mind? Or was it just a doppelganger doing its usual thing lah?
Just playing punk with these two guys lah.
Yeah, just playing punk, So hard to say, right? Hard to say, But I mean, I like it because it's classic. It's so classic.
Yeah.
I love it.
And for those of
Great
you
ending.
who are expecting a featured confession tonight, please note that future confessions will be at 9:30 and not at 11:45. The reason for that is there's a lot of comments that came in asking me if I would consider putting the feature confession slightly earlier because 11:45 is just too late for most people, and I think that's a brilliant suggestion. So 9:30 will be the featured confession, and today's featured confession is by Tom, who is a self-professed skeptic, a man of science, very logical. He has heard a lot about Tekong before going to Tekong, but he says, stories are stories, until he himself had some paranormal experiences. Now, for the
Wow.
Patreons, you will be receiving a 5 minutes of unaired clip. The reason I don't air this clip was because he was just sharing with me post-confession about his personal stories and his father. So
Wow.
that's
okay.
not on the main confession. That's only for patrons. But the patrons, I've got some comment I want to address. Some people have said,
Mm.
Eugene, why are you giving all the good stuff only to patrons? Please note that I think good stuff here is quite subjective. If I were to put
Hey, we're the good stuff.
Friday Night Live is a good stuff. No,
Yeah, we are not bad
yeah,
stuff.
because if I were to put when I speak to a confessor, and this is why I mentioned to you just now, John, I said I would love to tell people how I do the making of this Friday Night
Yeah.
Live and confession. My confessions with my interviewees last 1 hour, 2 hours sometimes,
Mm.
3 hours even.
Yeah.
If I were to put up everything wholesale,
Cannot lah.
no, you guys will not be interested. You'll be like, oh, lao, so chong hey. Or most people who have no sentimental value or emotional connection with SC or the confessor, anything beyond 15 minutes in statistically proven is too long for audience. So I spend a lot of time to craft it to make sure it stays in 12 minutes with all the good bits, take out all the the ahs. That's why all my confessors sounds very eloquent, but real life, not so, okay? But there will be things about the confessor that they would share with me that I feel it's interesting to people who love SC, to people who are following the journey of SC. Like say,
Yeah.
in this case, Tom's family background, Tom's father's experience, which is 5 minutes of content that to a general public audience would be like, why you put this in? But to patrons is wow, a bit of behind the scenes. So I'm not shortchanging anyone, guys. Yeah, just so
I mean,
you all know.
the way I see this is, because I mean, I do support various other channels, right? And for me, the only reason I support them is because I geek out. I geek out. So what is available to the public on the channel is not enough for me. I want to hear everything. I want to hear the sound of them when they pee. I just want.
But that's
it's
what
like
fans do, right? As you as a
Yeah.
fan, you are nerd. You're geeking out on it. You want more.
Correct. Yeah. So I'm in the sort of like I want the deluxe box set with like 6 hours of DVD extras. Nobody's gonna watch
Director's
that shit.
commentary.
Correct. But I want to hear every freaking word. Not even director's commentary. Like, like second director of photography. I'm like, who the hell are you? But never mind. I want to hear because you're starved for more. Right?
Yes.
So if you feel that you are starved for more, then you need to become a Patreon, no?
Yeah.
But if the general edited curated quantity, which is perfect for the general
Yeah.
public, then enjoy, right? Because you will probably get bored.
And
with some of this
this
stuff.
other thing, I tried something today. So when
Ah.
I usually put a 12 minutes, 15 minutes version out, right? People say, hey, Eugene, too short. So today's confession is 19 minutes, close to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
People
it's more
say,
than usual, yes.
Eugene, why so long today? Kanina no y'all. Short cannot,
No
long
lah,
cannot.
the sweet spot is hard to find. The sweet spot is hard to find. That's kind of also why it's good that the Patreon's kind of system exists.
Yeah.
Because then if you want more, you know where it is lah. But we won't force it on everybody. Some of the things that Eugene sends me is very long. Even I cannot tahan. So, okay. Okay. Rara is asking again why John is holding the phone to speak. I'm ordering pizza, Rara. So,
Hey,
Yeah.
Ezekiel is Patreon, and Ezekiel is also confessor, okay? Ezekiel says, Eugene, I'm ready to video for my final childhood confession.
Oh, okay.
By the way,
Exciting.
Ezekiel's confession was about Sentosa, and it was one of the top viewed confession. I'm ready. I'm ready for you to Easy. Come over to my place. Come. I got wine waiting for you. Lie.
Oh, someone said something interesting, which it brings us back to the last story. But Jujube pointed out, but this doppelganger was only in the mirror. But we don't know for sure because he didn't look back to see whether he could see the doppelganger or right. The friend couldn't see it, but we don't know if it was only in the mirror, right? So it could have been something meant only for him. Maybe he got third eye or 2.5 eye, so he can see a bit.
Or he's exhausted. It was a Thursday night. There could be so many reasons.
Yeah, suddenly he glimpsed it, right? Yeah, correct. So who knows, right? But yeah, that's an interesting fact. Was it only in the mirror or was it actually there for him and not there for his buddy.
Jujume,
Jang,
thank you very
jang.
much. Jujume says, thank y'all for the entertainment.
Yeah, it was fun. This was fun. I like this.
Wow.
Eh,
We have
cool.
we have about 38 episodes for 2024 season for you guys. So far we are at season 7 and John has been liking every single episode.
Episode 7.
In May,
So-
John and I will have to take a break for maybe about 1 week or 2 because it's Heritage Festival and I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but
yes.
we are involved with some stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll announce sometime soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that may affect our episodes for that month.
One
but
or
we'll
two
see how.
only.
We'll see how.
Mm,
Yeah, we'll see how to avoid it. Yay! Cool.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow, shock or not? I hope you guys
Shock.
enjoyed this today. I had so much fun. I don't know, is it a wine talking or is it just great community engagement? You guys were. Oh, Lizzie Woon said something. Maybe consider many short stories because I think people may become restless when a story is too long. I know, Lizzie. I trust me. Actually, most of the confessions that I have comes in very short form, less than a minute, and I've always been wanting to find ways to put them together. Except, to be really honest, maybe I'm just jaded having done this for 10 years. But when you listen to one long black hair, long white gown confession that is 30 seconds long, and
Yeah.
it, even as audience, after a while, because audience, you guys are so brutal and critical sometimes, so I do have to protect the feelings of the confessor.
I mean, you want a story that travels, lah. So when it's too short, it's just an anecdote. Then the whole episode will have no meat. It will go fast, but nothing to chew on. And generally less to discuss.
I can tell you 55
to
places
discuss.
right now that has long black hair, white gown. But that's all there is to the story. And usually,
Correct. Yeah.
so again, behind the scenes speak into what I do is when I get confessions like that, I would call the person and I'll ask them, what were you doing before that? What were you doing during that? How do you feel? What do you do after that? And that's what comes into the story so that you have your beginning, middle, and end that has a narrative. Otherwise, it's just, I was doing night shift, I see this long black hair, white gown. Then what do? I ran away. And then, that's it, lor.
The end.
Yeah. So it's not to put down the confessor's experience, never that. But my job is then to tease out the info. What were you doing prior to that? What time was it? Were you hungry? Were you the only one in the office? It's hours long just to get a 3 minutes confession. Okay. Yeah. But I mean, to me, when John laughs and he's enjoying it, and you guys are enjoying it, that is worth the effort. It is.
Yeah, Eugene puts in a lot of work to choose the stories and then to sort of craft the stories into something that's generally enjoyable rather than sort of, too specific and too detailed. And yeah. So we have to be grateful for that. Thank you very much, Eugene.
You're welcome, guys. Glad to do this. Whew. 11:45 already. John, any last words?
Not bad. Last words. I think the only thing scarier than seeing something in the mirror is realizing it's a piece of glass and it's just on the other side. It's like, hey, it's not even a mirror. Shit.
Those of you go budget hotel be careful. If there's one advice I could give you is, you put your finger to the mirror. If your finger touches each other, it's a one-way glass. If your finger floats, it's a mirror. That's how you test.
Speaking from experience, huh?
No knowledgeable.
Ah.
Yeah. For tonight's Friday Night Live, we are your hosts. Next week, John will be singing to you a Pet Shop Boys song that's been practicing for 2 weeks.
Finally.
It will be a show theme about rental homes, and there's no
Nice.
lack of story for rental homes. But also, if you have any stories that you want to share, please contact me. My number is 94594931. If you can't remember, you can always check it out on the back of any toilet door in Singapore or www.supernaturalconfessions.com.
Oh,
And
and any mirror in Singapore.
if you're interested in being a Patreon to look at what's behind the scenes, please just join us at patreon.com, patreon.com/supernatural confessions. Also, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Paris Maitreya, who will be running
Yeesh.
a workshop for you guys in April.
Mm.
And he designed this.
What is it? Oh, can you hold it close? Oh, cannot. Okay. Cannot she?
And
Oh, lovely. Okay, yes, yes, yes.
sentient Patreons, you'll be getting a limited edition version of this entirely because you are a patron and I love you.
Nice. Oh. Ah, I see the skull. Okay. Wow. Shock, shock, shock.
See
Very
the
shock.
details. See the details. You got a pochong. You got a lot of things inside. You
So
got
fun.
Pontianak also.
Wow. Okay, this is your cursed shawl. Okay.
Yeah. So Paris is not accepting any payment for this, but however, he is for a cause, and we are donating some of the proceeds over to the cause that he supports as a way of payment to him. And if you're interested in signing up more workshops that we have for you, is community by community for community by community. We are collecting $5 for every registration, and the $5 goes towards the host, whoever hosting that activity, their cause that they support, and a portion of it goes to community building fund, where we buy dinner for the host and all that lah.
Yeah.
People do this for free. We need to give them something in return. Take them out for dinner, take care of them.
Thank you very much, Paris. Yay. Okay, must support.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I must remember also that next week, because we're talking about rental, right? For those of you who missed it, there was already an episode about rental houses, rental flats last season. So you might want to watch that in advance, right? That is the famous one with the
Toyogo
flat
box.
full of Toyoko boxes, which Eugene is very sure there's only one in the whole area
Kembangan.
of Kembangan.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't know what that one Toyoko flat is. But yeah, so please go and I think maybe there's a way to share the link later so that everyone can go and watch it before we do episode 2 of Rental Flats. Cool.
All right. May you have the serenity to accept the things you cannot change, the courage to change the things you can, and the wisdom to know which is which.
Yeah.
Eugene Tay and Jonathan Lim saying good night. See you next week.
Bouncing. Bye-bye.
What did you find? You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.